Good morning. Hope you're doing well. This is take like 7, so I'm starting to wonder if this is just not in the cards today, but we're going to try again. So I was tagged in a tag video, and I was tagged by Dillon Morris. He was tagged by Maeve at Maeve Ever Books, and the originator of the tag was Hilary B. Green at Book Bustle. And this is the reader's profile tag, and there are 10 questions, and then I will be tagging some people. So let's dive right into this. So, number one, what for you makes a good book? For me, it's characters. You have to relate with them. Prose, setting, some type of conflict. I really enjoy that. I like sometimes when the author will set up a premise. I like stories within a story, so I'm kind of a sucker for that. And obviously, I'm a big fan of series. So if there's loosely based people that come back or premises, and I'm a sucker for that. So that's what for me makes a good book. Obviously, I'm not big into hype. I like to find hidden gems, and yeah, that those are my qualities for a good book. Number two, what are you currently reading? Well, I'm reading God, a biography by Jack Miles. This is my first foray into nonfiction. This was a recommendation from Steve at Steve Donahue, and it is a very interesting book so far. We're taking a look at God in a way that you don't get in the Bible. There's definitely heavily influenced by the Bible and the passages, because that's really the only insight we have into this being, this deity, and our person. And yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it just yet, but we're taking a very analytical approach to God, asking some very interesting and deep questions, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's pretty interesting. And then I was going to be reading the third book in the Travis Divine series, and then I mentioned that in my weekly wrap-up, and then I realized afterwards that book doesn't come out till next week. So I dived in and started listening to The Mantis on Audible. This is the third book in what's called the Assassins trilogy, and it's a loosely based trilogy. The characters are loosely based between the books, but this is by Koraro Asaka. And I've enjoyed the first two books that were interesting. One of the books is based off of the movie Bullet Train, I think it's called. And so you should check it out. I definitely will mention more when I do my review. Number three, what's the last book you didn't finish and why? And that would be The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. Two reasons. I wasn't connecting with it, and then it got into some content that I just didn't want to read, so I DNF'd it. And so I'm not a big DNFer, but I've learned over the course of the last several years that you're better off DNF books. You don't have so much time to read. So number four, what obscure book do you wish other people would read? That would be the Drizzt Do'Urden series by R.A. Salvatore. It's fantastic. It just doesn't get a lot of talk. If you Google this series in YouTube, you will not find but maybe a handful of videos about this. This is fantastic. You just don't hear a lot about it. I think R.A. Salvatore is underrated as an author. These are quick, fun. When people talk about, well, John Glenn writes the best battle scenes, they have not read an R.A. Salvatore book, period. Some of the sword scenes in some of the original trilogy and beyond, some of the stuff is just fantastic. I love the diary entries when you get an introspective look at Drizzt as a character. It's fantastic. This is definitely underrated. I wish more people would read this. Number five, what's the longest book you've read? I have two, but technically the longest book I've read is the Bible. I've read the Bible twice, and it's the longest one, but second place would be The Stand. I mean, it's huge. And so I think there is a Ken Follett book up there when I get to it. I think it's one of the books in the Century books. I think it's huge as well. It probably will surpass The Stand, but it'll probably be the second place book. But yeah, those are the big ones. Then obviously like several books that are over 900 to 1,000 pages as well, but those are the two that I picked out. Number six, if you could have a dinner party with 5 fictional characters, who would they be? Conan, Reacher, Pendergast, Dresden, and Roland Deschain. Those are my those are my picks. I think that'd be fantastic. Pretty good selection too. So, number 7, 5 books you'd want if stranded on a desert island. I would say Night Shift by Stephen King. I want some type of collection to get my money's worth, and this is one of it, in my opinion, his best short story collection. The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I want some kind of big book. This is on 900 pages, and it's a fantastic book. I definitely could read it again. I connect with the characters, and it's a huge book that's very good, and it's written about building a church. I mean, you can't go wrong there. A quick read, one of my favorites from Lou L'Amour, High Lonesome. I would definitely put this on my list to take with me to a deserted island. The sentimental pick, Jurassic Park, the book that really spawned me into reading as a younger kid. I would definitely pick this one up as well. I've reread this many times, and I could still do it again. I really enjoyed this book. And then I went with kind of a classic pick, and I've only read a few entries from him, but I really like his writing, and this is a collection as well. So I think I'm getting my money's worth here. But I would take this Jack London collection. You have The Call of the Wild Life thing, Sea Wolf, and then 40 short stories. I think you get your money's worth here for one book, and I think he writes very well. Matter of fact, and I really enjoy it. So, number 8, one book you could not put down. I have two recent reads in the last couple months. One being new and one being a reread, but the reread was Run by Blake Crouch. I mean, I just, when you say couldn't put down, I mean, is that 1 setting, 2 settings, 3 settings, real quick? This one I think was a 2 setting. I think the first time I read this, I finished it in one afternoon. But this is just nonstop, and it's a very underrated book. And then Professor X put me on to Hostage by Robert Krass. This book is fantastic as well. I mean, I divulged this in like 2 settings. It was really, really good. I flew through this thing, and there's a reason why. Honorable mention, probably Airframe by Michael Crichton. That book has that kind of 24 Jack Bauer vibe to it. That one would be a good one as well. Number 9, 5 books or authors you will never read. Well, I'm trying to branch out more and more, so I struggle with this one. I'm going to give you one example. I don't have 5 because I want to read more outside my comfort zone of thrillers or series and kind of thing. But there's one genre in particular that I'm just not going to read, and that's romance. I'm just not interested at all. Yeah. And number 10, if you were to write a book, what would it be about? That's a tough one. For me, it would be a series. I mean, why not? I love series, and so I think that would definitely be one. But it would have to have a character. I'd have to be a male character. I couldn't write female. Females are a mystery still to me. So, and I'm in a house full of them and have been for many years. But yeah, it would have to be a male character and be part of a series, And so I would probably pull ideas and cherry pick from like the Reacher series or the Dresden Files. I would have to have, some interesting supporting characters. The main character, the main protagonist, he would have to have some kind of special, I wouldn't say ability, but something special about him that lends itself to the stories that I would write in a way, similar to like Reacher always finding himself in these situations, or Dresden, always having to take the moral high ground and do what's right, even though it's selfless in what he does. But yeah, that'd be something along those lines probably would be what I would write. So I'm here to tag people now, and so I'm going to tag the following people to do this reader's profile tag. So the following people, you are tagged: Novel Insights, Outer World Media, Odd Audie Online, Hannah Roll, Book Buds, Jess Book Girl TV, Beyond Books, Book Chat with Pat, Dustin Neely, Christina Winikoff, Turning Pages, Xanadu Castle, First Pages, Eric's Bookshelf, and Must Read More. You've all been tagged. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Thanks. 3, 2, 1.